Power's a lunatic. Denji reaches his life goal not once, but 4 times. Bat Devil arc, y'all. Chainsaw Man. More Chainsaw Man. I've been having a hard time putting this manga down. It's that good so far, at least the way it's been written, as it constantly leaves me wanting more. And I'll dive into that a little bit later in the video. I think we need to talk about Power right from the get-go. We met her at the end of the intro arc, and she definitely shares the main stage with Denji this time around. Power is hilarious. She makes me literally laugh out loud. She's insane and sort of spit, and that's why I love her. She has some great lines already. Human jests are just so unamusing. I hate vegetables. Be gone! She's definitely a conniver, as we see that play out through this arc, with her Meowie story and just with Denji in general. Denji, once again, is super gullible. We first saw that back with the Muscle Devil and the little girl, but this time it's with Power and her story about Meowie and the way to get the cat back. Power don't care about Denji, she just wants to get Meowie back, and Denji's just a meal exchange to get that done. Now, don't get me wrong here, she has a soft spot, but it's not for Denji, but for the cat, which is kind of cute that she's grown fond of it. She was a blood devil and now is a blood fiend. Blood makes her kind of go crazy, but she learns to love that it has a nice and warm feeling to it all. We see from Power that it's in the form of cuddling with Meowie, but I don't know if that love is literal. Like, would Power have fun in a hot tub full of human blood? Probably. So I don't know if we'll see more of that in the future, but it's something to keep in mind if you're reading along with me. I definitely wouldn't put that past Power at this point. But devils in general can have a soft spot. We've already seen this with both Denji and Pochita. We see a flashback when they were separated and Denji spent all day looking for Pochita, and Pochita was really just at home, but Pochita was crying and they were just happy to be back together. It's a very heartwarming story. And it makes me wonder if this is what Makima sees in Denji and possibly Power too. They're both not just about murdering and killing everything. And speaking of Makima, we see her when she's talking with her superiors. And what's nice is we get some world building here. I think a potential setup for a future arc of some sort, because we get references to the Soviet Warhawks and some type of American matter that went on in the past. It seems like other nations are actually using devils for their own military purposes. And I'm going to throw it out there that this is a setup for our ragtag group of devils and fiends and humans to be fighting some type of militarized devils in the future. But I'll leave that just as a theory for now. I don't have too much more to go off of. But it was a nice little hint, like I was saying. It lets us know that there's more to this world than just Denji, Power, Makima, and some little missions. There's probably going to be, at least I'm hoping, a larger overarching story. But we see once again that Denji is super gullible. He has zoned in on his main life goal of touching boobs. I can't stop laughing every time I say that still. It's definitely silly to bring up, but I'm feeling like it might not be a main storyline and goal anymore for Denji in the manga. But as I was saying, he easily falls for Power's plan because of this goal. And of course, he really was just dinner for the Bat Devil. Although, what's interesting, I don't think that Power necessarily knew what exactly Denji was. I think, because she kept referencing him as a human, so I didn't think she thought that he had any sort of cool powers like turning into Chainsaw Man. She even calls him a demon at one point, right? And neither did Aki for that matter, because Makima had to explain the chainsaw powers to him as well. And I caught a nice little bit of foreshadowing here. During this explanation to Aki, we get an example from Makima about coffee and a car, like how unassuming and unthreatening a coffee devil would be, but imagine a car devil. Getting hit by a car would be super damaging. And of course, when Denji is fighting the Bat Devil, he picks up a car and hurls it at Batty, even though there was a driver inside. And we see just how far Denji's going to go for his ultimate goals here. I noticed that he changes quite a bit when he's in Chainsaw Devil form. His strength, obviously, he can pick up a car and toss it, but I'm talking more about his personality. He becomes one-track minded here. He needs to kill for boobs. But he disregards people, which we normally see he doesn't do. He normally cares for innocent bystanders, other people and humans that are in trouble, or just in the world and could be affected by devils. But Denji needs some help after he takes care of Batty. As the Leech Devil, Batty's girlfriend, shows up, cuts off his arm and is about to eat him, when all of a sudden, Aki and his group show up to save the day. Which helps us to learn so much more in the rest of this arc from this point forward. Denji, when he's weak, presumably low on blood, can't transform into Chainsaw Man. He looks more actually like a version of a human Pochita with the chainsaw just coming out of his face. And what I found even more interesting was the way that devil hunters actually work. They enter into a contract with a devil, gaining their help while giving something up to the devil from themselves. Aki and his fox devil work together for some of Aki's flesh, which seems pretty harsh to me because I don't think Aki has any sort of regenerative abilities. I think you just gotta wait for his skin to grow back. I don't know. That seems quite excessive, but I guess it's a necessary evil due to the circumstances of the world itself being filled with devils and fiends. But these devils, even the ones that they're in contract one, desire the death of humans. So that seems a little bit weird to me. I'm hoping that they expand on this in the future a bit more, because why wouldn't the Fox Devil just kill Aki and everyone else? But I guess if it means he's got a constant amount of human flesh to chomp on, that's better than killing everything for one day and taking a couple weeks to kill more. I don't know. But of course, Aki gets on Denji's case for sympathizing with devils and fiends, but it makes sense for Denji. I mean, he already befriended Pochita way long ago, and he himself is a human-devil hybrid, so why wouldn't he? Luckily for him and Power, there were no casualties in their excursion because Aki said that, they wouldn't hesitate to put them down if there were. They have to fall in line, otherwise they'll be wiped out. They're just a dog, just like Makima was consistently telling Denji he was in the first arc. But we get things shifted up a little bit more when Power moves in with Aki and Denji, and as expected, she's gross. And I can't wait for more interactions between these three. What I really want to talk about in this video after finishing this arc was Denji reaching his goal. Because Denji finally got a hold of his dream that he claims he's been chasing for a long time, but I don't know how long it was. I mean, probably just since he's been a teenager. I believe he's 16. But the fact that he found that it was less life-changing than he expected it would be was kinda sad. But then he starts thinking, when he starts attaining or just going after other goals in the future, when he finally gets there, are they gonna just be like this? No big deal? No life-changing event? And will he find that the chase is really what made him happy, just as this first goal was really exciting for him to go after, and when he finally got there, he was like, that's it? And real talk from Denji here, because that's pretty sad, right? His world is crashing down on him. He sort of just feels like another depressed office worker, right? Like so many of us are. Tatsuki Fujimoto is talking about that urge that I feel like a lot of us have, of just always wanting more. How many of you collect figures or manga or games or anything really? When you finally get that thing that you've been chasing for, maybe it's been weeks or months, you know that feeling when something that you've been searching for forever finally pops up on eBay and you manage to check out. Pay, and it gets shipped, and you wait and wait and wait for it to show up in the mail. And finally it does. You unwrap it out of the box, put it up on your shelf, you look at it and smile, and you're like, cool, I have it. What's next? I'm completely guilty of that. Maybe the chase is what, brought you all that dopamine and that excitement, and you're ready to go on to the next thing. You're happy to have it, you finally got that thing you wanted, but it doesn't quite do it for you, and it's kind of weird. I think that's a real feeling that a lot of us experience, and it's not good for you. It took me a while to learn that. I stopped doing that stuff. Maybe a little bit of FOMO too, the fear of missing out. Denji definitely wants to get that real-world teenager experience, right? He set a life goal and managed to get it rather quickly. I don't know how long it's been since the beginning of meeting Makima until this situation. A couple weeks, a month or two? So that's pretty damn quick. But he set a goal and he reached it and he's not satisfied. So Makima seems that something's up with Denji, and he basically spills his guts about this goal that he had and how he achieved it, and he just doesn't feel that great. And she explains to him in this specific situation that naughty things feel better when you know the person better, Denji. Denji doesn't even really like Power. That was really just a business transaction, so it was ultimately unfulfilling. He gets some action from Makima here, but to me, she's just clearly using more manipulation tactics on Denji because he's very susceptible to them. She uses Denji to further her goals. She wants him to defeat a gun devil for her. If he succeeds, he gets to make any one wish that he wants, and she'll do it for him. But Denji actually does like Makima, and she knows this. Makima was the first girl he met and touched, hugged, but she has this very manipulative way about her, especially with Denji, that I caught up on. I went back and forth in the intro arc if she's using some type of mind control or if she's just taking advantage of Denji because he's this kind of weak teenager that's gullible. I'm still not really 100% sure on how I'm feeling, but I think something is going on. She definitely has some sort of power, especially with those weird eyes of hers. I haven't seen it just yet in these two arcs, but I think there's something going on, especially the fact that, she didn't just get into her managerial position for not being strong and having powers. So I'm excited to see where that goes. But once again, as I mentioned, this is just going to be another business transaction for Denji. I'm starting to feel a little bit bad for him. I mean, this is early in his Devil Hunter career, and he will get what he wants because I'm assuming he doesn't die anytime soon. Don't spoil me. I just feel like once he gets whatever wish he asks for, he's gonna still feel disappointed, but I'll have to just keep reading and find out. And it had me thinking about Denji and Power, the way they both act and are treated in general. It's kind of odd, right? Denji is supposed to be a teenager. I believe I read that he's supposed to be 16, and I have no idea how old Power is supposed to be. I mean, she's in the body of what looks like another teenager. I don't know how that works with fiends and devils, but Denji to me kind of acts like somewhere between a 10 and a 12-year-old, and Power acts more like a 6-year-old, I guess. Ew, gross, and throws food, doesn't shower or flush the toilet. I'm excited to see where this group goes, kind of as a whole, not just Power and Denji, but Aki and Makima, how they are all developed further. It's only been, for me, 2 arcs, 12 chapters, but my god, is Chainsaw Man flying by. I really wanted to keep going into the Eternity Devil arc, and I had to stop myself. Because in all honesty, I feel like if I just sat there this weekend when I was reading this, I could have just read all 97 chapters from start to finish. But I'm glad that I didn't do that because making these videos allows me to really look into each arc and chapter in general in more depth, looking for more themes and seeing what I can put together, little pieces that I might have missed the first time around because I do read through them twice for the video. And I'm enjoying it. And I hope you're enjoying these videos as well if you've checked them out. I myself wait until I've either watched or read whatever I'm covering in a video as to not spoil myself or kind of grab ideas. It's very easy to kind of steal or latch onto things another YouTuber says. So I wait until I, finish the chapter or finish the anime before I go and watch a video on it. But I've been watching a few Chainsaw Man videos on these first 2 arcs now that I've completed them, and why are so many of the videos just straight up recaps? A lot of them are called like explained, and it's literally someone just reading with nice video production and animation of panels and whatever, but I don't get it. I just finished reading something myself and I don't need someone else to read it to me. A lot of times they're not even adding anything into it. I like looking for other criticism, doesn't necessarily have to agree with what I thought. It's nice to see what other people think, because maybe I missed something, or maybe there's an explanation that I didn't quite get, and I'm just starting to rant here, so I'm gonna stop. But if you're watching my videos, I appreciate you, and thanks. Next up will be the Eternity Devil arc. So anyway, like and subscribe for more anime and manga videos. Later.